So, about them Game Awards. I just wanted to make a video about the Game Awards this year after taking some time to think about it, think about how it was ran and the announcements there and all that kind of stuff. First off, I want to talk about how it went, kind of the overall picture, and then we can talk about the announcements there. So there's a variety of opinions, right? And I do think when you include the announcement, this is one of the better Game Awards. There's a lot of good stuff there. In terms of an actual award show, though, it was a little weird, right? It was like very few of the awards were given out to the people coming up to stage. They were just like off to the side. It seemed like they didn't really care much about it. And I know that's not the case. Like, I know that Jeff wants to, that's why he made it, right? To give awards. But it definitely felt rushed. They were playing music right away. It was really funny with Judge, right? Like, making fun of him, like, don't go so long. But then it was too quick after. Now, Jeff has already admitted that he agrees, right? That was too quick and it wasn't enough time for them. But it just made it feel kind of shammy, right? And I think it's a hard balancing act, because the truth is, as much as we all talk about that and say, hey, what happened to it actually being awards? If it was just an award show and there wasn't very many announcements, people wouldn't watch, right? Like, it wouldn't get the traction that it gets. And so if this is your show, how do you do that, right? And I don't know that I have the best answer. I just think that there needs to be more middle ground, right? So you can't, everyone wants to cut the ads, and I get it, but you have to pay for the event somehow. So the ads are what do that. So I get not those. I think, though, there's, I think I've seen some people online talk about this. You give a long time for Kojima to chat about something he doesn't know much about what it is yet, or at least isn't sharing much about it yet, or other Hollywood actors to come and talk about their part in a game or whatever. And I'm not so against the Hollywood actors like everybody else is, but they shouldn't get this huge block of time, and then the actual winners of the award get this tiny bit of time, and then you don't even give the winners of other awards time at all. That's where the mess up is. So have Matthew McConaughey come out and do an awards. So Matthew McConaughey could come out and say, look, this is a game I'm in. Then say, this award is what we're doing, and here's who it goes to, right? Like, you could still mix that in a way where the timing and the framing makes more sense and is more honoring to the game developers themselves. Obviously, that's a lot to juggle. That's why none of us have it, right? Because it's a lot to do. It's a lot of work. That said, I just feel like there has to be more balance, and I'm sure that's got to be a scary thing, because you don't know if people are going to keep watching if you don't focus on the announcements. But if you're going to call yourself Game Awards, be the Game Awards and let the premieres come as part of it, not the premieres be the thing and the awards be a part of it, right? That's just my opinion. Not everyone will agree with that, but so some of the other stuff. I know that some developers were kind of frustrated with Judge's comments about the Call of Duty campaign, but it was pretty funny, and I thought it was pretty good. And so, I'm sure that you gotta be careful with hurt feelings, but you're making a joke. I think that they need to get over it a bit. Like, come on. So that was enjoyable. I think some of the Hollywood actor stuff is whatever. Like McConaughey, I think he's a fine actor, but I don't see why he's in there. That's great that he's voicing someone, but okay, But there were some, like the guy for Zao, for his new indie game, talking the story about his dad. That was cool. One of my favorite parts of the show. Just it brought a connection there, right? I thought that was really, really good. And the awards themselves, I think actually getting awards or whatever, like, I don't know, whether the people deserved it or not. There's some differences of opinion, but that's never really been what it is for me, right? Like, I can argue Baldur's Gate 3 or whatever game you might think is game of the year, but that's not really what's most important. It's just like, the show is, are we honoring the gaming industry? Are we celebrating what has happened this year? And I think they still did that, but there was just a lot more that could have been done. Premieres, I wonder, without being able to see into the back end of these things, we don't know, do the awards pay for stuff? Does Kojima, I know they're friends, but does he give a bunch of money to help? And so Jeff feels obligated to give more time. We don't know all of that stuff. And so it's hard to, I don't want to throw shade on anyone because we just don't know enough to know the full story. I know that's a big deal in social media. We all like to jump on bandwagons without knowing the full story. But I don't want to. I just want to, as a whole, talk about that. Yeah, and I mean, some of the other stuff, like the music, when they did the medley, it was very cool. It felt even more rushed this year, which is dumb. I love that part. So I wish that could have been a little bit better, but still amazing music. And I think that's a great way to celebrate the games, is by noticing a part of it and making a big deal out of that. I just wish that they would have had a little more time, but still really, really good. For what it's worth, I think Baldur's Gate 3 totally deserved Game of the Year. I wish he'd had a little more time to talk. I felt like they were rushing them off when they had some big things to say. But at the same time, they've had the opportunity at other shows, so I guess it'll be all right. But good stuff. All right, so let's talk about the announcements. There's a ton, and a lot of them are kind of meh for me, but I still have a pretty darn good list of ones that I was interested in. So some of these are not brand new announcements, right? They're ones that we've already known, but maybe they showed something new or had a release date or whatever. But like one of the first ones that showed that I found really interesting was the Matchless Kung Fu, which is kind of like that, I don't know, that samurai ninja combat game. I don't know. It's hard to say what it was. I didn't feel like there was enough in there to know for sure, but it looks really cool. I like the trailer. It looked fun. Wind Blown, which is like an animated Dead Cells. It was with the like rabbit and stuff. That was pretty cool. I don't know if the game will be good, but it looked fun. They showed another Persona 3 Reload trailer, and of course that game looks amazing. Going with Atlas, they had Metaphor ReFantazio, another trailer for that, and that game is looking so sick. I am super stoked for that one. Hellblade 2 looked amazing. I don't know that that's really something that I'm going to play, but I might have to go back and play the first one and see if the second one is of interest. The setting is cool. I just haven't really kind of gotten into it, No Rest for the Wicked. That is the Moon Studios new game, and it's like an action RPG fantasy setting, and so that could be interesting. We'll have to see if that's any good. I mean, all we know them for is Ori, I believe, right? So that could be interesting. Visions of Mana was shown, and that's exciting because we haven't had like a new Mana game that wasn't a mobile game in forever. And it looks like a Mana game. It looks cool. It looks like, kind of a new take on it. So hopefully that is going to be good. I'm excited for that one. Rise of the Ronin got a release date coming out the same day as frickin' Dragon's Dogma 2. Man, next year's going to be packed right from the get-go. Black Myth Wukong got a release date. That game is looking really sick. They polished it up quite a bit since first trailers, and we're talking now. It's saying August 20th. That's a pretty good release date, I think. So I'm excited for that one. Next up is Tales of Kenzera. Tales of Kenzera Zao. Now that's the one where the guy came out talking about his father and having been an actor and now is creating games. And I'm really excited about this one. I think it looks cool. It has a very unique animation. The action looks cool. And the story behind it with him and his dad obviously is spoke to me a bit, and I thought it was really cool. So that one comes out April 23rd, which is a little bit of a bummer. That's the same day as Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. So that's a bummer. But neither one is full price. So maybe between the two, they come to a full price game. Huh? That could be good. After that, the first Berserker Kazan, or however the heck you say that, I don't know. That looks pretty decent. I want to see more, and probably we'll need to test it, how does that feel? But it looks cool. I like the visual style a lot. You know what? Skull and Bones actually looked good. It gave a release date of February 16th. Now we'll see, right? They delayed probably 15 times or something, so they might delay that again. But it actually feels like it has some personality and stuff to it. I could totally be wrong, and it could be 2 out of 10 game, but it just looks like they're actually starting to piece something together. So that could be good. We'll see. Blade. Arcane is making Blade. I am curious about that. I have not been the biggest fan of Arcane's games lately, so we'll see. But, Blade is a cool character, so it could be good. Let's see, Last Sentinel. This just had a cool CG trailer, right? They didn't really show gameplay, but it was a really cool trailer. And so, obviously, we'll have to wait to see some gameplay to what it actually looks like. But the trailer has me interested, so that's why I put that on here. Exoborn, open world extraction shooter, it sounds like. That could be really cool. I don't really know. I'm kind of hit and miss with shooters right now, so I'm careful about saying I'll be, involved or invested in any of them. But it had a cool look to it, so maybe. Light No Fire from the developers of No Man's Sky. I think he's overpromising again, so be careful. But a huge open world fantasy, sandbox. That could be really cool. It could be lame, but No Man's Sky has turned into something that's really, really special. And if they can do something like that in a fantasy setting, I'm pretty down. That could be really cool. So we'll see. Final Fantasy 16 DLC, that's awesome. They had one half released already on the same day as Shadow Drop, and then the other DLC is sometime in 2024, later on. That's pretty awesome. 16 is a great game. I'm excited for DLC. That's good stuff. The Finals. The Finals is that shooter where all the buildings fall apart. We've seen this before, but it looked pretty cool. I like the aesthetic of it. I don't know that I'll play it. The first person shooter stuff is still kind of meh for me, but I might. It could be cool. Next week it was Bellwright. That's like a open world medieval survival game. There's a kind of a lot of those, right? There's a lot coming. There's a fair amount out, but the truth is survival is a pretty big genre. If you can make that make it unique, make it special, it'll do just fine. So could be good. We'll see. And then the last one is of course Monster Hunter Wilds. Now I enjoyed Monster Hunter World, but I kind of got on the train pretty late, and so I didn't play as long as maybe I would have liked to. Right, I was doing a lot of games at a time and wasn't really playing with anyone because everyone had kind of moved on. So I'm hoping to get on this one earlier because I think that the game playing with friends, getting on and doing hunts could be a really good time. So an open world Monster Hunter World game I think could be really awesome. All right, and that's pretty much it for the announcements. Now there are some really good ones. There's so many games coming out next year that I'm interested in. Next week will be my most anticipated for next year. So keep an eye out for that. That'll come out next Thursday. And in the meantime, look, let me know what you thought of the Game Awards. Was there something else that I missed talking about? Oh, I know what it was. The Old Gods of Asgard did their song, which was really cool, by the way. But then the dancers and having Sam Lake and stuff in there was actually super great. I thought it was hilarious. He was having the time of his life. That was really good. All right, moving on. I enjoyed the Game Awards. The announcements were good. There's some changes I think that need to happen, but overall, it's still a fun time. It's still a cool gaming event. So let me know what you thought down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. We got videos coming out every Thursday. And yeah, and thank you so much for watching. Good hunting.